Bitcoin is here right now on a very crucial level, fighting with $112,000. As soon we're losing these kind of level to the downside, flipping into a resistance, we should be very worried about Bitcoin, because then we should get here in direction of $100,000. We will talk also about the liquidation, how the outlook is for my current trade, the general outlook for Bitcoin, also about Ethereum, because Ethereum is looking very bad right now, and we have also some news data coming out, so definitely stick around, and let's directly start here on Bitcoin. As I mentioned already, Bitcoin moves here to the downside. The Asian market was dropping Bitcoin in the lower side of $112,200. We are finding now a little bit support here on the 15-minute chart, but the 50 moving average is holding us down. I only flip here on the 15-minute chart a little bit more bullish as soon we're reclaiming the 50 moving average. In general, also the 50 moving average on the daily chart is holding us down, and this gives us a lot more trouble here. It seems that our inverse head and shoulders pattern could be potentially getting invalidated, and as you know already, my price target is sitting here at $135,000. But as long we are respecting our support line to the upside, we should be here any worried about our pattern to the upside, or in general for the move for Bitcoin to the upside. But as long as we are fighting here with this kind of level and potentially breaking also this level to the downside, flipping our support line into resistance, and getting here one more leg in direction of $108,000, this is the moment where I will definitely close also my long position. I have my long position still open here on Bitfinex. It's kind of like a little bit in profit, but mainly on break even. Yesterday it looks way more bullish with this momentum to the upside in direction of $114,000. We didn't break here this kind of level. Got rejected over the night from the Asian market to the downside. So now it's very important for the bulls to get here momentum in, and also don't create here lower lows. As soon this level gets broken, we should definitely keep an eye way more on Bitcoin, because then it can potentially go even one leg lower in direction of $109,000. By that said, also have a quick look on the liquidation. Yesterday we cleared some liquidity here to the upside, so $114,000. We started clearing the liquidity. In general, on top of us there is the main liquidity sit, so there is no much more to say about the liquidations. 114,000, 115,000 up to $120,000. There is the main liquidity sit. For the market maker, it doesn't make sense to move here one more leg to the downside, because there is no much more liquidity left. Still a few orders here around $110,000. But I think as soon we're getting here in direction of $110,000, as I mentioned before, we should also get here way lower and break also our uptrend structure to the downside. This is exactly the moment when I will be a little bit more worried about my Bitcoin position. Otherwise, the main direction for Bitcoin should be here in direction of $116,000. And as soon we are taking out this high at $113,800, the direction for Bitcoin should be also cleared, because also here on the 1 hourly chart, we can go quickly there. Exactly also there, our 50 moving average is sitting, and also the 200 moving average on the 1 hourly chart is sitting there. And as soon we're flipping these kind of both EMAs to the upside, the direction should be very clear for Bitcoin. In general, for the outlook for Bitcoin, we're kind of on our last end of our bull run. So I expect here in the next couple of 6 to 8 weeks definitely topping out here on the crypto market. So this is also a chart we definitely have to pay attention, but I don't want to bothering that much with this chart, because we talked many times in the previous videos about these charts. So let's switch on Ethereum, because Ethereum is looking here on a daily chart not that bullish. It's showing us a little bit more weakness here on the Ethereum chart, but there's one thing what makes me super bullish at the same way we saw this massive drop here also on Ethereum, that we're retesting the last previous high on Ethereum. So the high from March 24, the high from May 24, and also the high of December 24. So exactly now we're getting the perfect retest, which potentially gives us now more momentum to the upside. The only thing what makes me a little bit more worried about is that we are also flipping the 50 moving average to the downside. As you know already, the 50 moving average gave us a lot of support here to the downside, and as soon we're flipping the 50 moving average to the downside, as we saw it on the previous one, we saw continuation to the downside. So this is exactly what I don't want to see here right now that we are getting here one more push here in direction of the 200 moving average and getting here support. There could be potentially a scenario that we are getting here the support at the 200 moving average, but this gives us also for Ethereum one more drop to the downside of 15%, and this will only happen if Bitcoin is losing here his uptrend to the downside. If Bitcoin makes also then the move to $100,000, which is kind of also around 10%, that could be also the same scenario when Ethereum is here hitting also the 200 moving average. But as long Bitcoin is trading in top of our trend line, also Ethereum should be getting here a little bit more strength in the next couple of days. We can also clearly see we are losing also here our structure to the downside, building a new lower low, which means also here we should potentially get here one more leg to the downside before the EMA is turning a little bit around and getting here as the next push to the upside. So in my opinion, Ethereum looking way bearish than Bitcoin. Here on Ethereum, if you hide the indicators, we definitely have to get here in our trading range again. So in kind of the range between 4,200 and 4,100 US dollars. So assume we are not getting today in back this kind of range, we should here definitely see this one as a short confirmation, which means also we're getting here one leg lower in direction of 3,900 US dollars. As soon we didn't get support here in this kind of range, this is the moment also we will be a little bit more worried about the altcoins. We don't need to talk about some other altcoins because if Ethereum will not performing well, also the altcoins will dropping to the downside. So Ethereum needs to hold here a little bit more strength to the upside before we can get here in some new altcoin position. Otherwise, also today there will be some data coming out. So we have initial job claim rates coming out today, and even also tomorrow PCE data will coming out. So a little bit more volatility will also hit the market. Last quick look also on the Bitcoin ETFs. Also on the ETFs, yesterday we get positives inflow for the Bitcoin ETF. The day before and the day previous one on 22 of September, we get outflows. We can also have a quick look on Ethereum's ETF, because I think also here, yes, exactly what I'm thought about, that also on the Ethereum ETF, we got outflows, which means also the chart is here losing a little bit more strength on Ethereum. And by recording the video right now, also Bitcoin is here moving lower and lower in direction of 112,000 US dollars. As I mentioned already, this level down below is very important right now for us. So as soon we're reaching this kind of level in between 111,500 and 11,000 US dollars, at least there we have to see some more support coming in. Otherwise, we will make a lower low, which means also our short confirmation will be active. And this means exactly for us that we saw here this move to the downside, we saw a small correction to the upside and a continuous move to the downside in direction of 109,000 US dollars. So as soon we're losing also this level, I will close my Bitcoin position and will find new entries, because then mostly we will get here in direction of 109,000 US dollars. Let me know in the comment what you're thinking about. Will we be getting here some more support in direction of 111,000 US dollars, or will we continue our downtrend to the R downside in direction of 108,000 US dollars? Otherwise, leave also a like, subscribe to the channel, and then we see in the next update video tomorrow.